Hey guys, before the episode gets started, we just kind of wanted to give a little trigger warning on what we're going to be talking about. It does have to do with some medical issues. So there's going to be discussion about surgeries. There's going to be discussion about, boils, things like that. So if you are not interested in hearing this, great. It's okay. Skip to the next episode. The next episode is probably going to be funny or some stupid shit, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to discuss. It gets pretty emotional, and there's a lot. There's a lot that we talk about.
There's a lot that we talk about, and it's just discussing a condition that I've been dealing with, and we're just sharing the information out there to you all. Again, like Shelby said, if it may be a trigger warning or trigger for some people.
Yeah.
So if this is not something that you would be comfortable listening to, don't worry about it. We're no love lost. Like,
facts.
Totally understand. So we just wanted to give this quick little disclaimer so you have a heads up before you get into the episode.
100%. Thanks for being here, guys. This is Shelby, and we're from Bitch Please.
Welcome back to another episode. We are on episode 12. We're just moving right along through the numbers. Here we go.
I just love how consistent we've been.
I know. It's exciting.
I know.
It's so exciting. So today, before we get started, we got to do what we always do. How are your screw shelves?
Girl, I don't know. Everybody quit.
Girl, that whole side, let me know enough.
Everybody quit. I don't know if anybody else has felt like this, but I just don't want to talk to nobody anymore.
No, that's fair.
I'm just like in this mindset of like, I just don't like, I'm giving too much of my energy and too much of my peace to too many people. And I'm like, I've got to pull back from that.
That's fair.
I got to pull back from that. I'm putting my energy and attention into shit that is not me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean to say that in a bitch kind of way, but like right now I am about me and my well-being and my health and my mental health. And I'm just putting way too much into other people.
No, that's fair.
So that's just how I've been feeling. And like today I had planned on going to the gym and I didn't. I laid on my couch, which like, yeah, sometimes we need, but like lately that's just what I've been doing. So I'm like, besides keeping my house maintained, which is like always a big deal for me, but like other than that, I'm like, I'm not actually putting that energy into myself. I'm putting it into other people, and I don't want to do that no more.
Fair.
I don't want to do that no more.
That's fair. Do it.
Yeah.
Do you, girl. Be you for you.
Thank you.
Love that.
Thank you. What about you? Where are your screws at?
My screws are good today.
Yes.
Yesterday I was in my Honey Nut Filios. And so I got to shout out to Tiana. She was the one that told me that. That shit had me cracking up. When she told me, I was like, I'm going to say that.
Honey Nut Filios.
Honey Nut Filios.
Yes.
Shout out to you.
All right, T.
So I was in my Honey Nut Filios yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, the last couple of days, I've been kind of in a weird space.
Yeah.
But today I actually feel pretty good.
Okay.
Even though shit was hitting the fan at work, but it's okay. It wasn't bad, but it was just...
Yeah, it was just a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
This whole weekend was a lot.
Yeah.
And so, with that comes things.
Yeah.
But today is a better day.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in a good mood. I was in a good mood all day today,
yes,
honestly.
I love that.
I'm dog tired.
Yeah.
But much better place today.
Yeah, okay.
Had some realizations.
Yes.
Had some thoughts.
Don't y'all love that?
Realizations
when
are
you
great.
when you just come to the conclusion that it ain't right.
Yeah.
Or that it is right.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You just come to the realization like, this is what I need to do for me.
This is what I need to do for me. And that's just that on that on that.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Exactly.
That's where I'm at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that realization.
So, do you want to just hop right into today's topic, or do you want to just talk about something else before we hop in?
Let's go ahead. Are you ready to hop in? Because this topic's all about you, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to hop in.
Okay. All right. So today's, you know how we try to do like a little bit of like a chill one, and then we try to get onto a serious topic. Well, today it's all about Dee and her topic today. We're going to talk about her HS. Yes. She's going to go ahead and share her story a little bit on that and what it's been like, and,
all that good stuff.
So let's go ahead and start. What is HS?
So HS stands for Hidradenitis Suppurativa. It's also known as acne inversa. It pretty much is a chronic skin condition, an inflammatory condition that affects the the areas that have like sweat glands. So normally your armpits, like your groin area, sometimes in your head, and it gives these big like boils that can track pretty much, and they're deep under the skin. They track. They cause a lot of pain. It's an extremely painful condition. For the longest time, it was super unknown, and they're still learning new stuff about it.
I know, it's wild.
It's crazy considering that I've been dealing with this since I was 10.
Yeah.
So it was like, my body was like, hey, welcome to puberty. Oh, by the way, here's HS, here's acne, here's everything. I was like, wait.
Like, give me a second.
Yeah, I was like, I just started my period. Can we figure it out? Can we just hop into it for a second? Like, can we just tiptoe?
Yeah.
My body was like, no, bitch. Welcome to adulthood.
Yep.
And I was like, that's crazy. So, like I mentioned, it is something that I've been dealing with since I was 10. The thing about having HS, for me, when it started, I only had it under my arms. That was the only place I had it. Back then, they had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
They were just treating something.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, this looks like this, so here's this medicine. Try it out, see what happens.
Yeah.
So I've been on so many types of different medications, like oral medications. I was on doxycycline, tetracycline, minocycline.
The cyclines are rough.
So rough. I was on all of those. And then they were like, well, let's try... they tried amoxicillin, and they were trying this and this and that, and it was like they couldn't figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
And so I would go to these doctors, and they would give me these things. They would give me topical ointments. They would give me different things to try to help.
Yeah.
But they were noticing that it wasn't really going anywhere.
Yeah.
And as I got older, it just got worse and worse and worse, because as you get older, your glands start to do things.
Yeah.
Stuff is starting to happen to your body that, wasn't happening as a child.
Yeah.
So, we're trying to figure it out. Bless my parents' hearts. They really just,
yeah,
they really helped me out through this, because it's super painful. And it was extremely difficult to deal with because, I played sports as a kid.
Yeah.
I also wore a back brace because I also had scoliosis.
Can we share that picture?
I have a picture, and I will post it on here in the video. In my little back brace. I don't know. I'm going to share it. I don't care. I'm going to share it. And I thought about, kind of sidetrack, I wondered the reason why it kind of got like it was is because the brace used to sit from here to my hip, and they had little pad thingies under the arm so it wouldn't cut, because it was plaster.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I was like, I wonder if that's like what caused it to like really flare up.
Yeah, and like really irritate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those glands are covered.
Yeah.
So and the hair follicles and all of that are now blocked, which is kind of what happens with HS in general.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something that started pretty early on.
That's crazy. So when was your first flare, and what was that like for you? Like when you first experienced it?
My first flare that I can recall was when I was about 10. And I'm trying to think, what point was this? I think we had just got to the Azores. So we were living overseas. And I was playing sports and stuff like that and doing those things. And I just remember not being able to put my arm down.
Yeah.
Because it was so swollen, and it was just like, it felt like I had like cotton pads, like a big cotton ball just sitting under my arm.
Yeah.
And I remember being so uncomfortable and in so much pain, and I just couldn't figure out why. And because this is not something people know about, you automatically think, oh, this is just acne. Let me just try to like mash it.
Yeah.
Horrible thing to do. Do not do that, because it just tracks somewhere else.
No lie.
Yeah. So it was a very difficult time to deal with, because it's like you don't know what you're doing with it. You're trying to do the things that you can.
Yeah.
And it's in turn making it a little bit worse.
Yeah.
So that's how that whole thing was. It was very scary.
Yeah.
To be that young and not know what's going on. I mean, having health issues from an early age to now this new condition, it's like, what else is going to be there? You know what I mean? It was hard. It was really hard. It was a little embarrassing because, you have these big masses under your armpit. You're a kid.
Yeah.
You're just running around trying to be... you got to wear deodorant at a certain point because you're at that age. Yeah. You smell like outside.
Yeah.
You smell like ass. Yeah, so you got to like wear deodorant. Yeah. But deodorant was doing horrible things for my skin because it was plugging it up even worse.
Yeah.
but we didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it was just trying to figure out what we can do to help, and using tea tree oils and trying to figure out ways to drain it with like hot compresses and stuff like that, just to see if it'll help. And it did for a little bit, but nothing really got it.
Yeah.
Nothing really just kind of was like, all right, this is good. Because it's not curable.
Yeah.
This is not something that is curable. This is something that I will live with forever. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm 35 now, so obviously I've been dealing with it for quite some time. But yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. It was really crazy.
That sounds like a lot, especially to be like 10 and have to deal with that. And like, you know, because kids are already mean as is. And then you add on something like that to it. Like, that's just...
It was rough.
Yeah.
Especially in my little basketball uniform. I had my arms out and people be like, oh, I don't want to go near her.
Ew.
Yeah, it was... I mean, because, again, nothing that people know about.
Yeah.
So people think that, oh, you're dirty. And it's like, no, I'm not dirty. Like, that's not why I have
That's
this.
not it, yeah.
I'm going to catch it, and this is not something that is infectious. So it's like, that's not how this works. Yeah. But you're kids. Yeah. So it's like, you're going to have kids say cruel things because kids are kids.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I mean, even, honestly, teenagers and adults, because people don't understand.
They don't. So. It's whenever somebody doesn't understand something is when they want to be like, ooh, it's gross or whatever.
No, that's exactly how it was.
Or pass judgment. You know what I mean?
It was the passing the judgment for me. And it's like, so I've been dealing with kind of my own little insecurity with it for years. Yeah. Years trying to figure out, like, what's wrong with me? You know, people are judging me. People think I'm gross. People think I'm dirty. They think they're good. They can't touch me. And it's like, no, that's not even what it is. Yeah. But I didn't know that until I was probably in my 20s.
Yeah. And that's a long time to go. It's a long time to go. Yeah. That's wild. So what exactly what in the body exactly, so everybody can understand, does HS affect?
So it affects the sweat glands. Is that what you're asking? Yeah. Okay. It affects the sweat glands. So any area that you have those types of glands is where it's going to affect, which is normally in your underarms, your groin, apparently, which, I mean, I can't even say I haven't because I had that one in my chest. Yeah. But it can go in your breast area or chest. And then I found out much later in life, your head.
No lie.
Yeah, this guy I used to work with, he actually had it in his head.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Yeah. To have that and like, because like everywhere else you can kind of cover up. Yeah. And that you can't cover up. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. It was very hard. And then the thing about HS too is like, these are boils. Yeah. So they're filled with pus and blood. Yeah. And they open up. Yeah. And they smell. Yeah. And so constantly that's actually why I started wearing oils.
Is it really?
Yeah, because oils were a stronger scent. Yeah. And I felt like they blocked better.
Yeah. Those oils, I'm sorry, side note, those oils are fire.
They're great.
They're amazing. Upset. I know in one of the episodes I was like, let's get on shit. But I fucking love them oils. I always put them shits on. I'm like,
me too. I love the smell. They last all day. But that's what kind of got me into oils because I was like, perfume's not cutting it. Like, but the oils really, I noticed, kind of helped get like a better balance for me. Yeah. Also, when I finally got to the point of learning how to use like tea tree oil, I would put tea tree oil on directly, and I was like, I cannot do that shit because that shit burns.
Yes, tea tree oil burns like
it does,
like a bitch.
Especially if you have an open wound.
Yes.
So I used to cut it with water. Yeah. And then I would put like a little bandage or whatever and just kind of call it from there. But yeah, so you have now something that looks crazy on the outside. Yeah. But then you also have this odor that is there. And it's just like you're constantly in fear of like, oh, is somebody going to smell me? Is somebody going to, touch me? Is somebody going to poke me and my arm's going to leak? Or is it going to leak through my shirt? I ruined so many clothes as a kid. I mean, even as an adult because of that.
Because it just leaking through.
Just leaking. It didn't matter if I had padding, gauze. It would just leak.
That's wild. Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot for a kid to go through.
It is.
You talk about that shit in therapy?
I did.
Okay,
good. That's why I think...
So, not to try to call you out. So I was like, are you working on that?
Yeah, no, it's
but
fine.
I want to know, like, as if it's something that you've actually...
Yeah, that was actually the first thing that we tackled.
Nice.
And it was crazy because I had been going to therapy and we were tackling other shit. Important, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But not the root of why I was where I was at. Yeah. So having to talk about it and explain like what was going on with the HS and why I felt the way and why I was so insecure about myself. Mm-hmm. She was like, oh girl, we need to talk about this. Like, this is why you feel like this. This is what's going on. And this is, you still are holding on to that stuff, not realizing in your adulthood. And granted, I say we tackled it. We didn't tackle it until, was I in my 30s? I think I might have been 27, 28.
Okay. So later 20s.
Later 20s is when we actually tackled it. And it changed my perspective completely.
Yeah.
Because I still was holding on to that shit that I was dealing with from youth.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, it is something that I tackled from the very beginning with her, and none of the other therapists we had never even touched it.
That's wild.
It changed my whole perspective on it.
Yeah, I bet it did. Because I mean, as like kids, you're so impressionable, and like those memories, like especially between the ages of like 10 and 16, 17, like those are where you remember and kind of how like you go through life and move through life, like they imprint on you in a way. And it's like you have to, like, if you don't address those things, like you could be in your 30s, 40s, 50s and still reacting the same way as when you were a teenager. Mm-hmm. But good for you for working on it, though.
Girl, I mean, there's a couple of things that helped with it too, but yeah, I'll get to that. But
yeah, for sure.
Just having that outlook on, this is something that you went through, but this is not the same thing.
Yeah.
Like times have changed. Like there's a little bit better understanding. It's crazy because I had been talking about doing a HS like YouTube channel a long time ago.
Yeah.
A very long time ago, and I was not comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing there's so many people out there talking about HS and their struggles and what they've been going through and everything like that. And I'm so appreciative and I'm glad that it's out there because I can just imagine that there is a kid going through the same shit that I went through, not knowing how to handle it. I mean, you really think about it. You're dealing with things that are not just your physical presence, but your self-esteem. You don't think you're able to be loved. You don't think you're ever going to find anybody that understands. You don't think there's so much attached to it that you don't typically think about.
Yeah.
And having to process that. And it's like, it's great that these people are out there talking about it.
Yeah.
Because it does help to know that, hey, you can be loved. Hey, you can wear whatever you want. Hey, you can do whatever. You don't have to just be stuck.
Yeah.
Because you're typically in a lot of pain and you're relying heavily on meds. To function.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a very interesting condition to deal with.
Yeah.
Definitely very interesting. And I still, like, sometimes, not so much anymore just because it's very much controlled.
Yeah.
I still have times when I'm like, now it's about the scarring because it creates scarring. And then I've had surgeries that also created scarring.
Yeah.
But I still have days every now and again where I'm like, I don't think anybody's going to like this. Like, this isn't attractive. Like, this is, you know what I mean? People are going to think that's weird. They're going to think something's wrong with me. You think I got a disease. And it's like, no, girl, it'll be fine. Like, you still that bitch.
100%. 100%. So, and I've seen this bitch naked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I mean, but it is kind of hard, but I do appreciate where I'm at now. I am grateful for the advances in medicine, honestly.
For sure.
Which is, I'm surprised I'm even saying that, but I'm for real. Like, I'm super excited about the advances in medicine and that people are actually looking into this condition and trying to get other things to help, not cure, because it's not curable, but help alleviate some of the pain.
Yeah.
And alleviate some of the draining.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in college, my senior night, we had our senior dinner, and I had this cute, like, it was like a sheer pantsuit. So it was like the bottom half up to like right here was completely sheer.
Yeah.
And then it was like a little suit inside.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like double cloth.
Yeah.
Leaked through the whole thing.
Oh no.
Leaked through the whole thing.
Oh shit.
I had padding on and everything.
Yeah.
I had to go try to clean my romper in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I was so stressed out.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, well, you should have wore I was like, I wore padding, girl. Like, I was prepared, and I still wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting journey.
Yeah.
I am grateful because I found Dr. Bear Resnick. He's in Aventura, Florida, which is like near Miami. He is a specialist on HS. And he is the one that got me to do the infusions.
Okay.
Before I was on the infusions, I was doing an injection because the dermatologist that I have here, was like, hey, I saw this guy do some research. I think you want to try this. So I was doing Humira injections because it had gotten approved for HS.
Yeah.
It's a typically, I believe, set for Crohn's disease.
Okay.
But it got approved for HS because they found it had great results and all that. And I used that for a while, and then it stopped working.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the dermatologist found that article about Humira. The guy that wrote that article is the doctor I see now.
No lie. Yeah. I love that.
Didn't know it until later on.
Yeah.
But that stopped working. Yeah. Which is always like the concern, because I'm always like, well, this has been working for so long. Yeah. How much longer until I have to figure out some other new medication? Yeah. Which, for sure. Great. Thankfully, everything is, again, advancing. So they're finding new things to use as time goes on, which is great. But yeah.
Okay, so take me through. I know you said that they had you on a bunch of antibiotics and stuff like that, and you've mentioned surgery. So take me through kind of like what that looked like where you were, and kind of like, I know you mentioned infusions, but like specifically what each thing was for you. Like, what is that? What am I saying? Am I making sense? No. I mean, like, in the sense of like, okay, so you started on antibiotics. Yeah. What did they do for the surgeries after that? Like, what was the next step? Oh, yeah, so they started you on this, and then you got to Humira, and then you got to infusions. Yeah. But like, what sort of surgeries did you have? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
So, the antibiotics lasted probably from like 10 to maybe about, we'll say, honestly, they actually lasted from about 10 to about 20 something. Okay. So I was on different types of medication. They were just trying things. Yeah. So then I go to college. Mm-hmm. I go to college in Ohio. Mm-hmm. My parents are still at home, and I'm in Ohio, and I'm dealing with this even worse now. Yeah. Because now I'm like extra stressed. Now I'm like living, I'm drinking. Yeah. You know, stuff is just happening, and it just gets bad. So I go to see a doctor, and he's like, you know what? This is bad. So this is what scared me. Mm-hmm. The doctor was like, I have never seen a case this severe in my life.
Oh, no lie.
He was old. Yeah. So to hear somebody say that, which, take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. Probably not many people coming in with HS. Probably honestly. Not. It's not a huge population. I mean, it's a bigger population now, but at the time, not a huge population. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Yeah. He had never seen anything like it. Okay. He was like, this is bad. Yeah. I had one under my arm that was so bad. It was like it looked like a little eyeball. Like, it was huge. Damn. Right under my armpit. Yeah. Couldn't put my arm down. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to go back a little bit. Yeah. When I was in high school, I played basketball from the time I was like 7. Yeah. Till the time I was about 19. Yeah. Playing basketball with HS, awkward. Yeah. So awkward, because you have jerseys. Yeah. And I used to have to try to wear stuff, and you get poked, and you get hit, and sometimes I would get hit directly in the armpit, and it would cause me so much pain. It would just shoot through my entire body. Still did what I had to do, but like, it was not. Yeah, I bet it was. Easy. Yeah. I had to wear t-shirts at some point because people were so uncomfortable with me having my arms out.
No lie.
Yeah. I ran weird because I couldn't put my arms down. Yeah. And I remember a guidance counselor, she's like, you run really funny. I'll never forget that. She's like, why do you run like that? She's like, you just be on the court, like, running kind of funny. And I'm like, yeah, I can't put my arms down, girl. Like, this is not me just not run. Like, I can't, it hurts to do that. And so I get to college. So now I'm going to go back. I get to college, and I'm still dealing with it. I can't shave my armpits because it's too painful. I have bumps and lumps and all that shit. Yeah. And so I remember when I was in the summer program, I was wearing like a shirt, and I had armpit hair. Yeah. And I remember this one guy was like, you need to shave your armpits. And I was like, I can't. Yeah. Like, first of all, if you don't know what's going on, mind your fucking business.
Mind your fucking business.
But he was like, you should really shave your armpits because that's not ladylike. And I was like, first of all, fuck you. Is that ladylike?
Yeah. I hate when men are like that. You should really shave. You should really do this. Whatever.
I was like, you should mind
your
business.
You don't know what's going on in somebody's life. Don't say shit.
And that's what it was. I was like, I can't because I'm dealing with this and this and that. Yeah. And then he felt like an asshole because he didn't know that. But it's like, bro, you can't say
maybe keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah. It's like, you can't say certain shit and not know what's going on. Yeah. And so, there was that. So you're still dealing with people kind of teasing you and kind of making fun of you. Yeah. Even up until that point, I was 19. Damn. So I want to say my first surgery, I think I might have been 21, maybe. The very first surgery I've ever had in my entire life. Yeah. And he went in and he just cut out pieces. He just cut out the areas that he could see, sewed it back together, and was just like, we'll see what happens.
And these are the sweat glands. So he just took the glands out.
So under my arms. So what he did is he took out, most people have that like that little divot part in the middle of their armpit where you grow hair.
Yeah.
Just that section.
Yeah.
He took out that entire section.
Okay.
He took out that top part because that was where the big eyeball looking thing was.
Yeah.
And then he put the top and the bottom together.
Yeah.
And he sewed it and stapled it.
Yeah.
And so I don't have the glands under my armpits anymore.
Yeah.
I don't sweat under my armpits.
She does not.
I don't grow a lot of hair. I have like 3 hairs.
She still puts on little deodorant.
I do because I feel weird because I'm fat, so I got a little stuff rubs together. Stuff rubs together. Got a little flap.
Yeah.
But he took those areas and he put them together. So I let that heal, but I had to put my arm in a sling. Mind you, I'm still in school.
Yeah.
So I'm going to school with a sling on. People are like, "Oh, what happened?" Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, it's fine. I just had surgery. It's no big deal." But like, people aren't just having surgery just to be having surgery.
Yeah.
So that's a weird thing in itself. So now you're trying to explain that to people.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Right. So then that heals up a little bit. They did just the one arm.
Yeah.
I had to go back and get the other arm done.
Damn.
Because the other arm was just as bad.
Yeah.
So they did the same thing on this side that they did on the other side. They took out that middle section. They put the top and the bottom together, and it healed.
Yeah.
The thing that was so interesting about it was they did staples. So it looks like little train tracks, right?
Yeah.
So I remember as they healed, and people could see the scarring, they'd be like, "Oh, what happened?" And I used to just fuck with people. So I used to be like, "Oh, I was on a roller coaster, and they tell you not to put your arms up. Well, I didn't listen.
I'm fucking weak.
And it ripped my arms, so they had to attach them back. And people would be like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's crazy, right?" They're like, "Yeah, how did you survive?" Like, I'm like, "I just had surgery. It's not that deep."
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like a cool story, but it's not that deep.
Yeah. But also, let me just say, like, I like how you can take. I mean, I feel like when you have something like this and the physical pain and everything else, you have to find humor in it.
Have to.
Or otherwise you just break down and lose your shit.
Absolutely.
But the fact that you were able to just fuck with people like that just makes my soul super happy because I'm just like, yes.
I'm going to be a big goofball no matter what.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's so interesting because I feel like without all the weird skin stuff that I've had between just the acne on my face and the HS, I don't honestly think I would be the person that I am.
Yeah.
I think I would be a bitch.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh, girl. If I didn't have no skin issues with this body.
That's facts, though.
Girl, what?
That's facts. Yes. Be out here.
Especially the college body. I was going to be out here wild.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
For no reason. But, so we did that. The surgeries. My mom came out. She helped me recover and heal. Brittany, my bestie in Detroit,
love her.
She helped me out a lot while I was recovering. She helped me change my wounds and stuff like that, and clean them and things like that. She really was there to help me out a lot. And I just kind of recovered with that and just did the best that I could while still going to school.
Yeah,
and working and doing all these other things.
Damn.
Yeah. So it was a lot. When I got to be, I think I might have had maybe 2 more surgeries while I was in school. And then I graduated and I went back to Vegas.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I had 1 more surgery and it got out of my arms completely.
Yeah.
So now I don't have any HS in my arms at all.
Yeah.
Then it moved.
Oh.
So then it moved down to my groin.
Yeah.
And my butt.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different beast.
Yeah.
Whole different beast.
Yeah.
Because now you're dealing with, it's very sensitive down there.
Yeah, super sensitive.
Skin's very thin down there. And you have skin that's being stretched to the max because you have these boils that are just taking over and they're tunneling.
Yeah.
And they're just creating these different things and scarring. And again, they still drain.
Yeah.
Now you got an odor and it's just that kind of thing. So that you're in college now.
Yeah.
You want to be a little hot thought,
Yeah.
And now you're like, damn, I got this, and I got this going on, trying to deal with that.
Yeah.
So by the time I graduated from college, I went back to Vegas, and it was really bad.
Yeah.
In my groin area, I got to this doctor. He did another surgery on me. He did like a laser thing, like on the side.
Yeah.
And it took care of it, kind of.
Yeah.
That was a really hard healing process because I had just gotten back from college, so I don't have a place to live outside of my parents' house.
Yeah.
Which was a 2-story house.
Oh.
I had to crawl up the stairs to get to my room. That's like the only way I could move.
Yeah.
And that happened a lot when it was flaring really bad. I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
That's what was so difficult. Like, walking was like, it sucked.
Yeah, I bet it did.
Wearing certain clothes, I couldn't do it because I was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Sitting in certain spaces, I would feel uncomfortable. I was constantly checking, looking at myself, making sure I wasn't leaking on anything. Going up the stairs, trying to deal with the surgery, trying to just maneuver to walk and all of that stuff, and being uncomfortable. Like, I don't wear certain underwear now because I just have it from when I was dealing with it.
Yeah.
Where I needed to have something that was a boy short.
Yeah.
Like, all of my drawers are boy shorts.
Yes.
They just are.
Yeah.
Or man draws.
Yeah.
Because they're comfortable as well.
They're comfortable as fuck, though.
And they're like its and spakes.
Yeah.
But, so you're dealing with that, and I'm trying to figure it out. And I ended up moving out, and I started living with my homegirl, Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
And, still dealing with it, but she had like a 1-level house, so it worked out well.
Yeah.
And the thing that helped a lot was being able to soak.
Because for like in a bathtub.
Yeah.
And
not to skip back, but like when I was in college, I was living in the dorms for a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's not a tub.
Yeah.
So I ended up moving off campus so that I would be able to soak.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of nights that I would just sit in my little apartment. It was like a little 1-bedroom apartment. It didn't even have like a door for real. It had like one of those sliding doors.
Yeah.
That separated the living room from the bedroom.
Yeah.
And I would just sit in there and cry.
Oh.
I would just cry because it was so painful.
Yeah.
Like, the pain was, I couldn't explain it. Like, it was unreal.
Yeah.
And that's why my pain tolerance is so high now.
Yep.
Honestly. But yeah, so when I was in Vegas, I was dealing with that, and I was still kind of, I was doing better, but it was still very bad.
Yeah.
And so the doctor that I had gone to before, he was like, well, we'll try to do this. Again, just taking chunks, because you just don't know.
Yeah.
So the thing that was so crazy about it is these doctors were, and nothing against any of them.
Yeah.
Because they're only doing what they can do.
Yeah.
They're just taking out chunks of skin and tissue and just hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Not realizing that, not for one, that's not cosmetically looking decent.
Yeah.
And it's not really helping the issue.
Yeah.
It helps it for a time, but it doesn't actually fix it completely.
Yeah.
Because it just don't do that.
Yeah, because you said it moves, right?
It moves. Yeah. Because it tunnels. You have different tunnels in different areas, and so you think one section is cool, and then lo and behold, another section pops up.
Yeah.
So it was just dealing with that. I moved out here.
Yeah.
And immediately, I want to say, well, it wasn't immediately, maybe 2015, because I got out here in 2014.
Yeah.
2015, early 2015, I was struggling again.
Yeah.
And it was, again, very bad in the groin, in the butt area. And this one was bad on my butt.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't sit. I was at work. At that time, I was working a job that I had to sit.
Yeah.
For the whole shift.
Yeah.
Struggling.
Yeah.
I was sitting at my desk, at my computer, typing and crying.
Yeah.
Typing and crying. Like, that's all I would do. I would listen to these people tell me about them need to be out on leave.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there in tears because I'm like, I don't really have that option right now.
Yeah.
I almost lost my job at a point because I hadn't worked there long enough to get FMLA.
Oh.
So I was just pushing through it.
Damn.
Yeah, I was just pushing through it because I had no choice.
Yeah.
So, 2015, I ended up having another surgery where they took a big ass chunk out of my butt.
Yeah.
Huge chunk. And they just used a wound vac to hope that it would heal itself and all that. That wound vac was the worst thing in my life.
Yeah.
It literally was draining the life out of me.
Yeah.
I lost all my color. I wasn't able to do much of anything. I wasn't walking. I wasn't doing anything. My mom came out. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was popping pills left and right. Like,
yeah.
It was really, really bad. And we had to go to the doctor at some point and be like, "Y'all gotta take this off."
Yeah.
I can't do this. And they're like, "Yeah, but it's not gonna heal." I don't care. I cannot function as a person.
Yeah.
And so they ended up taking it off, and immediately my color came back. I was able to function. Like, everything was fine. Yeah.
Wow.
That thing was
that's
rough.
Wild.
Because the area that it's in, first of all, it's hot down here.
Yeah.
It's hot. And you got a vac trying to suction all of that, but it's also in a crease because it's on your ass.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not really the best place to have a wound vac, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't helpful for me.
Yeah.
Some other people it may worked wonders for. Worked wonders for me. So 2015 that happened. 2016, 2017, 2018 had some more surgeries.
Yeah.
In fact, when I first started working at our job, And it's funny because Louisa will tell me every now and again, she's like, yeah, I remember when you first came in here and I could not understand how you were working.
Yeah.
She's like, I didn't understand because you would leave here and then you would go to your other job. And she's like, and I could see how much pain you were in. And you were just pushing through it. Like I would walk like an old person. Like I would just kind of limp. Yeah. Because I couldn't walk right. Yeah. Like it hurt so bad. And so my dad came out here one year. I want to say this was in late 2018. Yeah. He came out here and we had a consultation with a surgeon to see if there was anything that could be done because it was really, really bad. Yeah. And the surgeon was scared. Why? He didn't know how to handle it. Oh. He was like, and then he too was like, this is the worst case I've ever seen. Yeah. He's like, I don't even know. And he had no confidence in how to fix it, but was going to do it anyway. Oh no. He was going to do it anyway. He's like, well, we could just cut this and we can cut that and we can just we can just take out this chunk and we can take out this chunk and then hopefully it'll like calm down. Absolutely the fuck not. Me and my dad left there. I was in tears. Yeah. And my dad was like, we're not doing that. He's like, he was not comfortable. He was not confident. He's like, we're not going to do that. So he got on the internet that night. He typed in some stuff. Okay, Papa Williams. Yes, shout out to Papa Williams out here. He found him and he was like, you're going to go see this doctor. And I was like, but he's in Miami. He's like, Miami's 3 hours. We'll go down there. Like, it's not a big deal. So I was like, okay, cool. So we ended up going down there and surgeons are interesting. Yeah. I mean, he's a dermatologist, but he also does like different surgeries and things like that. Yeah. But he specifically treats HS. Okay. On top of other stuff, but he is like the leading guy for HS. He's done talks. He's got reviews. He's got paperwork. He has people come from all over the country just to see him because he deals with this disease. No lie. He's amazing. Yeah. But he has that attitude like, I know I'm the shit. Yeah. And honestly, he's a shit. He should. Like, he is a shit. He really should. Yeah, he should. He deserves to have that attitude. So who is this? What's his name? His name is Dr. Barry Resnick. Okay. Yeah, he's in Aventura, Florida. Okay. Great guy. And we go down there and he's like, oh yeah, I can do this. I'm going to do this. He's like, in fact, we're going to do this. It's not a big deal. He's like, we deal with this all the time. He's like, this is a really bad case. Yeah. Again, hearing that over and over again, you're like, damn. Are y'all not seeing other people? Even from like a leading specialist? Like I can imagine. Yeah. And he's like, so there's different stages of HS. There's like 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. I was at 3. Damn. Like I was at the top. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to go hard. I'm going to go hard. So shout out to me. But yeah, so he was just like, this is really bad, but he's like, I'm not worried about it. He's like, we're going to do these things. He said, we're going to try this different medication. I kind of skipped this, but I had been on Humira before with the dermatologist here. Yeah. She was like, I'm not really sure what else we can do. I was like, no worries, girl. I'm going to go see this surgeon, blah, blah, blah. And then I told her about it. And she's like, oh, he's the guy I was talking about years ago. She's like, he knows all this stuff. He's going to help you out. He's going to be great. She's like, I'm so glad that you found him. Yeah. Great. So I go to him. Okay, but she could have mentioned it years ago, though. I don't think at the time when she mentioned it, the only thing that was treating HS outside of antibiotics was Humira. Yeah. That was the only thing that had been approved. Yeah. That was it. Mm-hmm. So. And what year was that? That was 2016. Damn. So for them to have HS, right, for that long, right? You've had it since you were 10 years old. And then 2016, you're like, what, 26? 26 or something like that, right? So to have it that whole time, and the only thing that was proven to help HS was just this one fucking drug out of that whole time. The whole time. That's wild. Yeah. That's wild. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, continue. No, it's okay. I was just like, God damn, that was it? Just the one thing? That was it. It was that or antibiotics. Damn. I mean, they had trials for stuff, but Yeah, for sure. That was it. Yeah. So I was on that for a while and it stopped working. So when I told her I found him, she was super geeked about it. And she's like, yes, go see him. Let me know how it goes. Yeah. So we go down there. We have the appointment. I'm super excited, but I'm also not super excited. Yeah, because you've already dealt with so many doctors. Yeah. And I'm also like, we'll see. You know, he seemed confident and I'm like comfortable with the fact that he seemed confident. But I also know that what I've been dealing with for the last however many years by that point. Yeah. And so I told her about it and she's like, he's going to do great. You're going to be in good hands, blah, blah. She's like, I'm here. If you ever need anything, she's like, I know he's not local, but you know, if you need to have some stuff done here, just let me know and we'll send your information over to him. And I was like, for perfect. Sure. Love that. So I want to say 27. am I messing up my dates? 2017 maybe.
Yeah.
Is when I had another surgery. I had a couple surgeries in between where they were just draining them and taking chunks out.
Yeah.
But this time I went to see him specifically. Yeah. And he did this procedure. Now, the thing that was so scary about it was it wasn't covered by insurance.
Oh.
Crazy, right?
Fuck. To have that, like, I mean, to
all
have this severe thing and all this history and it's not covered by insurance.
It wasn't covered by insurance.
That's fucking wild. So was it considered cosmetic?
It was considered cosmetic.
That's fucking stupid. I hate insurance companies.
The way this is a procedure that he uses that he's proven to work.
Yeah.
But they're still behind on getting that information. So they're not knowing, like the insurance companies are not knowing, like, yeah, this code is this, like the ICD-10 codes.
Yeah.
What is it?
ICD-10.
ICD-10.
Yeah.
CD something.
Yeah.
Something.
That's
crazy. I used to deal with that all the time.
I know, me too, at the hospital, and I can't fucking remember.
I can't remember. But now, so they didn't have a way to code it.
Yeah.
And so he told me, hey, I just want to let you know this is not going to be covered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. This is going to be the thing that stops it all. And my dad's like, we'll figure it out. He's like, whatever we got to do, we will figure it out.
Yeah.
So he tells us what the amount is, and we're like,
that's it?
Like, I'm thinking it's going to be like $40,000 or something crazy. It was like $600 or something. No. It might have been more than that, but it wasn't anything that was
major, like break the bank type shit.
It wasn't anything that wasn't possible to do.
Yeah.
So I have the procedure done, and what they pretty much do is, and it was such a weird thing. I have pictures and everything, which I will not share because of my coochie. Also, it's kind of gross. But they gave me the laughing gas. They don't put you under, which is scary in itself. Because now I'm watching this, legs open, like watching them do this stuff, and I'm just sitting there like, he's like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "No." Like I'm scared, right? They numbed it, all that stuff, but then they pump it. They pumped it up so it's inflated.
Yeah.
I have never seen my coochie so big ever in my life. I was like, dude, I got a fatty right now.
With the laughing gas, you look at that.
So, I'm so stupid. Sorry. But, so he pumped it up, and then what he did is he took a laser thing, and it just cut out all of the area that was infected.
Yeah.
So my left side completely cut all of that out, all the way down to damn near my, almost damn near to my anus.
Yeah.
Almost. Cut all of that out, and it healed. And I have a scar from it, but it's really not that bad considering what was there before.
Yeah, because it was a laser.
Yeah. It was a laser, and it healed. And before it was just lesions, bumps and lesions and things that were open and draining and things like that. So I was like, I don't care if there's a scar.
Yeah.
I don't even care at this point. I just wanted to stop draining.
Yeah.
So that worked amazingly.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been happier.
Yeah.
I had to wear man drawers after that though.
Yeah.
I couldn't wear regular underwear.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need you to get a pack. They have this whole list. You need to have a pack of men's briefs, boxer briefs or whatever.
Yeah.
You need to have this. You need to have that. And I was like, that's an odd thing to say, but all right, I'll do it. And it sucked. Like, it hurt. It was super painful recovery wise.
Yeah.
We had a little hotel we were in when we were out there. And we just stayed in the hotel. My mom came down. We stayed at the hotel. She ended up having to go back. My dad came out.
Yeah.
He helped me recover a little bit. And then I think maybe she came back again just to make sure I was good. And that was cool.
Yeah.
Then he was like, hey, we need to make sure that you're good, like, regularly, because he's like, you're still having drainage. You're still having a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And we need to kind of get that balance. He's like, because you can't be in pain consistently for that long.
Yeah.
He's like, that's going to do crazy things to your body internally. And I was like, say less. Because like, yes.
Yeah.
So he put me on the infusion medication, which is a biological drug.
Okay.
Biologics. And that changed the game.
Yes.
I did not have pain.
Yeah.
I did not have any draining.
Yeah.
And I was able to just live a regular ass life.
Nice.
Like, I was able to wear, I didn't used to wear, in college I did, but it was before it got bad down there.
Yeah.
But I didn't wear anything that my butt was showing.
Sorry, I'm getting teary-eyed.
Don't cry. Please don't cry.
Sorry, get a little teary-eyed.
No, please don't. Please don't. Because I'm going to start crying. Because this is a lot. But yeah, I didn't wear anything that if like how I normally wear, like crop tops and jeans and things like that. I couldn't do that. I could do that. I wasn't going to do that because I didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So I was able to wear stuff that showed my butt, and I have a nice butt.
You do. She really does, though.
So
I look good.
But I wouldn't, because I was just so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear certain colors.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of my clothes are dark.
Yeah.
I just happen to like dark colors, but a lot of my clothes were dark. Yeah. Because I was always worried about something draining and getting on it. Yeah. But it changed. And it was so interesting because I never thought I would ever live without pain. Yeah. Especially that amount of, I just didn't think it was possible. I didn't understand that I could really not be in pain for the rest of my life. Yeah. Like it was a game changer in how I lived. Yeah. A game changer. And I'm like forever grateful to him because it really helped me a lot. Yeah. Like it just, I like I said this before in another episode, I really got my quality of life back. Yeah. Like I am able to do things and feel comfortable doing them and wear certain things and sit on certain things. And yeah. So, but yeah, sitting down was like a huge thing for me. Getting up was a huge thing for me. I was constantly checking myself. Like, yeah. It was just a constant fear. And then again, worried about if there's going to be odor, but I wasn't having any drainage. Yeah. I wasn't having any drainage. I wasn't having any pain. Like it was just a whole different experience. I was able to walk like a regular person. Yeah. Like I'll never forget. I did this is gonna sound so silly, but it was a really big thing for me. Yeah. I did sit-ups. Oh. See, that makes sense. That makes sense why it would be a big thing for you. It was a huge thing for me. Yeah. I did sit-ups and I started crying. Yeah. And I called my parents and I was like, I did some sit-ups today. Yeah. And they're like, are you good? And I was like, I'm fine. Like, I don't have any pain. It's perfect. Yeah. I went to the gym that same week. Oh, no lie. I was able to go back to the gym. Nice. It didn't help. I was huge back then. Yeah, well. But I was working on it. Yeah. But yeah, I was able to go back to the gym because I couldn't go to the gym. I could have gone to the gym, but I wasn't about to put myself through that much pain. Yeah. I just didn't see the point. Yeah. I was like, I'll just be fat in peace. Like, yeah. I'm not gonna go to the gym because, I mean, and something as simple as like, it sounds crazy. Like if it's not something you experience, but yeah. Something as simple as putting on lotion. Yeah. I couldn't really do it. Yeah. But I was able to put on lotion. I don't. But I do. Yeah. Like I was able to. I be ashy. You be sometimes. I'm sometimes. I'm getting better about like lotioning and oiling my body because I can do it. Yeah. Putting on socks. Yeah. Hard. Very hard. A lot of the reasons why a lot of the clothes that I have. Yeah. And why they're set up the way they are is because they're older things, but they're because it worked for me at the time. I wear a lot of boots because I could just zip them shits up. Yeah. I don't have to worry about tying shit. Yeah. So that's why a lot of the stuff that I have is like it is. Yeah. But it really did. It changed everything for me. Yeah. And then I started going to therapy. Yeah. And we talked about it. Yes. And I mentioned this in a previous episode. I wrote a letter to the doctor. Yeah. It was really, I didn't write a letter to the doctor. I wrote a letter to my HS. Yeah. And I sent it to him. Yeah. And he read it. He was very appreciative about it. And it really was, just a changer on how my thought process was. But now, so you went from not having these boils and this draining and the pain to now I have all these scars. Yeah. And I still say this to this day. I feel like it looks like a war zone down there. Mm-hmm. And it just is what it is. Like, yeah. It's not bad. It still works. Yeah. Everything's fine. Yeah. Everything needs to be there is there. Yeah. I just have a lot of scarring. Yeah. And that was something that I had to process as well. Yeah. But it has been I've been on the infusions for I want to say 6 years now. Okay. Yeah. It was initially Remicade. So if you guys suffer with HS and you are still trying to figure out how to handle it, talk to your doctor about Remicade. Some insurances cover Remicade, some do not. My insurance no longer covers Remicade, so I now have to use Inflectra. It's the same. It's comparable, but that is a big game changer in how you'll feel. You might feel a little crappy the day of and the day after, but it really changes how you're able to live your day-to-day life. And I just recommend, and if you don't have a doctor that specializes in it, go see Dr. Barry Resnick because he actually will help you. Like I said, he has people that come from all over the world to see him to treat their HS, and he does an amazing job. Now that it's more known and more open and more people are talking about it, I think more dermatologists and other doctors in general, because there's like infectious disease doctors and things like that, even though it's not an infectious disease, but there's doctors that will treat it and they may have heard from his stuff. So check that information out because it really is a big game changer. There's no reason in dealing with it if you have options to help you.
Yeah.
Some situations are not as extreme, and you may not need a hop to a biologic. You may be able to do antibiotics and be fine. You may be able to be on Humira and it work for you for as long as it needs to work for you. But just try it out. Don't think that you're stuck. Just don't think that you're stuck. I felt like I was stuck for a very, very, very long time, and you're not. There's stuff out there that can get you taken care of. People are creating soaps, and people are creating different things to help you. Diet is a huge thing, which,
who really wants to do anything with diet?
But you know, there is things that will help you and do better, and so try it. Hopefully, it helps. I'll put some information up at the video or something so you can see it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I've been at.
Yeah.
I've been maintaining. I got to a point which I was super excited about where I didn't have to do. I get my infusion every month.
Yeah.
Every 4 weeks I have an infusion. It's a 2-hour long infusion. I have a nurse that comes out. She hooks me up to the IV, and I just sit there with my IV drip, and we just sit and chat and talk shit and
shoot the shit.
Yeah. And I normally take a nap sometimes because it makes me tired.
Yeah.
And then I'm cool.
Yeah.
I got to a point where I was like, okay, cool. I might not need to do this every 4 weeks. And so I was doing it every 8 weeks or 6 weeks, I think. And then I had a very stressful kind of stuff happen.
Now, stress can trigger it.
Stress can trigger it. Okay. And so it flared bad. The insurance needed a prior authorization again.
Yeah.
And that took 3 months.
Damn, I remember that.
That was a rough time.
Yeah.
Because I was flaring like nobody's business.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah.
The good thing about between the surgery and the infusions is I don't drain anymore, which is great. I don't even know sometimes if I have a flare, which is kind of cool because I don't feel the pain.
Yeah.
And then my left side, I don't even get it on my left side anymore because he did that.
He did that whole surgery.
And it just took it out.
Yeah.
Which was cool because I'm like, can you do the other side? Like, cause like one side's kind of like tight, and the other side kind of like make it even, like make it cute.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm just very grateful. I'm very grateful for where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm grateful where I'm at with it in all aspects, like the fact that it's doing well for my body, but also like mentally.
Yeah.
I don't have some of those things that I had, and I have the scarring, but it's like, and this is one of the things my therapist told me. She's like, you got to look at it like these are things you've overcome.
Yeah.
These are not things that are ugly or bad. These are things that you overcome. This is part of your life.
For
this
sure.
Is part of your story. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of right.
Yeah.
Like that's a good point.
Yeah.
You know? And so I look at it differently now.
Yeah.
Like I am who I am with scars and all, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
If you don't like me because I got some scars, well,
bye.
You know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So how is it since we're talking about like if you don't like me, if I got the scars, you can fuck right off. How is it with dating? Like what's that conversation like to you? Yeah. Like what is it? Have you had shitty reactions? I
have had some shitty reactions. I've had I was in a relationship when I first got back from school, where I had a surgery and I got cheated on while I was recovering from surgery. Yeah.
Can we drop his name real quick and start blowing up his shit? No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
We will not.
You can tell me after.
I'll tell you after. But yeah, he. So there was that thing. So you got, you're already feeling really insecure about kind of people are gonna want you and things like that. To get cheated on while you're recovering from that it was a little bit harsh. Yeah, it was really hard. I was being stupid after that because I still. Anyway.
But I mean, we all do stupid.
Yeah.
I do stupid all the time.
So dating with it has been interesting.
Yeah.
People are not as weird about it as I expected them to be. I'm the weirdo in it.
Yeah.
So I always am like, oh my gosh, did you see my scars? And they're like, I didn't even notice. Like, your holes work, bitch. I don't give a fuck. Like, I do not care. I remember. Facts, I mean, it is. I remember one of the surgeries I had. I was with somebody, and I had bandages and stuff, and stuff was still kind of. And he was like, I mean, is it covered? Like, does it work? And I'm like, yeah, it works. He was like, okay. And like, we just still, So thankfully, like, some reactions have been weird, and sometimes like. When people start to put their hands down and things like that, especially back then before I had any of the surgeries or any of the medication, it's bumpy. It's bumpy. And so that automatically makes people go like, oh, she got something.
Oh, see, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And it's like, no. And so then they have to explain
But just
that.
ask, though. Like, I don't... Anyways.
I mean, I kind of understood why there was a little bit of freak out, but like once there was a freak out, just be like, hey, I'm just curious because
yeah,
let's be real. People are out there giving people shit all the time.
Facts.
Without saying shit.
Facts.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I know people who are like that. Well, knew them.
Yeah. So it's like I get why they were probably like, oh my god, this bitch is trying to, set me up. But it wasn't even like that. You know what I mean? But honestly, for the most part, it has not been bad.
Good.
Like,
okay.
This shit didn't stop shit. Like,
love that.
It didn't stop
love
shit.
that though.
But it's been.
I really don't give a fuck.
Don't nasty.
So what?
Nasty. But I'm here for it. Hey, cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, people have been like receptive to it. I probably have been the one that's been more awkward when it comes to it because
understandably so.
Yeah,
though.
I mean, like this is me, and this is an intimate part of me, and so for it to not look like a normal area, it was just like I was always thinking about it.
Yeah.
And even though they were probably like, I don't care, girl, like
yeah, it's still in the back of your mind,
it's
though.
Always in the back, well, it was always in the back of my head where I was just like, oh my gosh, they're gonna think this, they're gonna think that, and 9 out of 10 times they were like, I didn't even notice, or I didn't even care, or whatever, for sure. And so that's been really cool, thankfully. But I still have my days where I'm like, dang, I kind of wish it looked a little bit more normal. And I remember my parents are just so amazing, like. This has been a thing that I've been dealing with for a very, very long time. And nobody knew where it came from because the thing about HS is there's not like a set thing on where it comes from. It could be genetic. It could be hormonal. It could be this. It could be that. Like there's so many different things that it could be. Yeah, because
there's not enough research on it.
There's not. So they're still trying to figure out what the exact like cause is and how it even comes to be. Interestingly enough, it is very prevalent in Black women. Yeah. Very prevalent in Black women. Yeah. Which is crazy.
That is crazy.
So.
No, go ahead, say what you're going to say.
It's just interesting because you just think about like how medicine was and the things that they did and the tests that they did. And it's something within our genetics from things that have happened in the past. Yeah. Because we were experiments. Yeah. Because they didn't think we were real people. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just very interesting to see that something like this would be affecting a certain group more than any other group. Yeah. It's just very interesting.
Yeah, that is super interesting.
But yeah, I mean, thankfully when it came to dating, it hasn't been that bad. I still get a little bit weird about it. Cause I'm like, if I have to do this with a new person, I have to explain this again. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's always something that kind of trips me up a little bit about like trying to whatever. It just always trips me up a little bit. But I mean, thankfully everybody has been super cool about it.
Yeah, love that.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been an interesting one.
Yeah.
But I am grateful for where I'm at. I'm very happy where I'm at.
Yes.
I never thought that I would be here.
Yeah.
I just never thought it.
I know, it's so funny because like when we chill, sometimes you'll say that. You'll be like, I just think it's so cool that I could just get up off the couch and just walk away and not have to worry about anything. Yeah. And just like, I love that. Like you have that.
Sorry, don't, because I'm starting to cry.
I love that you have that. We're just gonna save it for after.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say it. I love that you have that you can see the positive outlook on life, and that you went through such trials and tribulations with it and all sorts of pain, but you can come out with the like, look at what I did. Look at where I'm at. Yeah. When you wear the crop tops, when you wear the cute little shorts, when you're out here in these fucking streets looking like a baddie that you are. Like, I love that. I love that you have that.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Bitch, come here. I love you so much.
I love you too, girl. Thank you.
All right, I'm done.
Okay. But yeah, I'm very grateful to be in the position that I am now when it comes to this.
Yeah.
I do wish that I would have spoken up a bit sooner to maybe help other people that have been struggling with the same things. Like I met a couple of people on Instagram that there's like a whole bunch of support pages and things like that now. And I reached out and I was like, hey, if you're suffering with this, check out this person. And they're like, oh, I heard about him. Thank you so much. The lady that does my aunt's hair, her niece was in surgery for the same thing, and they couldn't figure it out. And I was like, this is what it sounds like she has. Ask her to ask her doctor this, and this. Ask her if they can put her on this, and this. I don't know what happened with it. I hope that she was able to, because she was young. She was like 21.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, look, I've been dealing with this for so long. It sounds like this, and they can nip this in the bud now. Like, please share this information with her, because it'll change how she feels about herself. It'll change about how she looks at things. Like, it'll really help her out a lot. I just... I just don't, I just want people to not have to go through the stuff that I went through. It was extremely hard. I did not love myself. I didn't love myself for a bunch of reasons, but that was the main thing. I was very insecure about just who I was as a person. And I didn't think I was going to be able to be loved by anybody. Like, I just, if it can be avoided, to ask those questions to the doctors and really just, I just don't want anybody to have to go through that. And I think that's why I get sad about the fact that I didn't say anything sooner about like doing a channel or just really just getting on live or whatever, because I feel like it could have helped a lot of people out.
But you're doing it now.
I mean, I'm doing it now, and I'm glad that I'm doing it now. And honestly, even though I wish I would have done it sooner, I know realistically I wouldn't have been able to do it sooner, because I was just in such a bad space with it. And it is funny because when I did start the Humira, I was going to do a whole vlog about what it's doing and all of that and how I was feeling, and I couldn't get there because I was so depressed. But I know I keep saying this, but I am very, very happy about where I'm at. I'm just so excited, and I don't, like, I joke and laugh a lot about it and things like that, but it really shaped who I was as a person.
For sure.
It really did. And it's like, it sounds kind of weird to be like, why were you relying so heavily on that? But it wasn't that I was relying on it. It was just a big part of who I was.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was a big part of something that I had to deal with, and trying to make sure that people understood, like, hey, you know, if we date or if we live together or we do whatever, like, there's going to be some days where I may not be able to walk, and you might see me crawling around the house. Like, don't be freaked out by it. Like, there may be some days that, you know, I'm crying in the shower, because that has happened. Like, you know, I'll never forget my cousin when we lived in Orlando. My cousin, I was boo-hoo crying in the shower. She had never seen me cry like that before. I don't know if she had seen me cry at that point. And she was so scared. She was just like, do I need to call your parents? Do I need to call the ambulance? Like, I don't know what to do, because she just wasn't sure, because I typically hide it really well. Like, I always just try to grin and bear it and just move about my day. And this was a day that I just couldn't. I just didn't have the energy for it. And I had been holding it together all day, because I went to work and I did all the things that I needed to do. And I got home and I just fell apart. And I got in the shower and I just cried. Like, that's all I did. I just cried and cried and cried. And that was an interesting experience. But I'm grateful for all the support that I've had. I'm grateful for all the support that I've had throughout this whole thing. It's been hard. But it keeps getting better. I'm hoping that at some point I won't have to use the infusions as much. Because it's been doing really, really well. And I did a little experiment.
You did.
I did. I mean, but let's just be real. I went 9 weeks without having an infusion, and I didn't have a flare. The only reason that I got it is because I started to feel a little off, and my acne was starting to flare up. And I was like, hold on, what's the connection? And I remember I told my parents, like, hey, I'm getting back on the infusions. They were like, oh, I thought things were good. I was like, yeah, I haven't had any flares or anything like that, but my acne is tripping. And they were like, yeah, that helped your acne too. News to me. News to me.
So wild.
News to me. So, but yeah, I mean, I think I did pretty well. I was trying some natural things, and I still want to try working on some natural things, because I do at some point want to not have to rely on the infusions to keep me balanced.
For sure.
But I also understand that maybe I don't do every 4 weeks. Maybe I do every 8 weeks, and in that time in between, I can use the remedy that I was using that was natural.
Yeah.
But I am still going to have to get it at some point.
Yeah.
I was on antibiotics while taking the infusions, because one of the doctors was like, you always need to be on a maintenance dose of antibiotics. He's like, just because of what's going on, you absolutely need to. I stopped taking all my antibiotics. I've been fine.
Yeah.
I've been fine.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Yeah, that's my story. HS.
Not the thumbs up, you stupid ass.
Wink.
I love that. I love that for you, that you were able to come out of it, though.
Yeah.
So, any parting words of wisdom to anybody out there who has HS? I know you've already said some stuff, but anybody out there who has HS, or who's even just in general going through a chronic disease or something like that, like any parting words of wisdom for people?
Just that if you're in a spot where you're just feeling really down on yourself, or very insecure about yourself, or whatever you may be feeling, you're not alone. You probably have a really good support system around that you don't even know about. You are able to be loved. You're able to be cared for. And if you meet people that are just giving you a hard time, those people aren't supposed to be in your life. Like,
cut them out.
Cut them out. Like, you'll be able to find all the things that you want, and all the things that you need. And just know that you're not alone, and use the resources. Like, social media is a lot of things, but there are some great resources and tools and guides and people who are going through the same thing that you're going through, if not worse or lighter, you know, and it can really help you or put you in the right direction. Well, like I said, we'll put up some information in the video so that you can see, like, who to call if you need to call somebody. If you want to see the doctor that I see, you know, you're more than welcome to contact them. They're a smaller office, but they're doing great things with this.
Love that.
They will help you out, and they will keep you from having to do the bullshit that I had to do for the majority of my life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do all those things. Be great.
Be great.
And you are loved.
Just you are absolutely loved. And you
you're
know,
worthy to be loved.
Yeah. And you know, you can always message us. Reach out to D if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, or you want some information, or you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who has HS and needs some help. I'm sure Deidre is more than willing to go ahead. I'm just putting it out there. I'm sure she is more than willing to go ahead.
I am more than willing to help out in any way that I possibly can, because, like I said, I keep saying this, I do not want anybody to have to keep going through the same shit that I had to go through for so long.
Yeah.
There's too much information out there. There's too much advances, and they're not huge leaps and bounds, but there are things that are helpful, and I do not mind talking to you at all.
Yeah.
So,
well, thanks guys for joining us for another wonderful episode on Deidre's HS and everything she went through with it.
Yeah.
And you know, follow us on social media. We are on TikTok, we're on Instagram. Like, subscribe, share on our YouTube page, all of that good jazz. We love you guys very much, and we appreciate your support. And thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye.